Hey everyone, welcome back to I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. I'm Slim,
And I am the Raging Bull X, aka Black.
And I'm Chris.
and welcome back. This week episode is a special episode because I decided we're not going to roll with the topic. And honestly, but being that it's a special episode, Black, if you want to go ahead and get your drink now, I'm going to actually leave that in there. So go ahead and grab yourself a drink.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do one for this one.
yeah, there you go. Get one because you're going to need one.
Should everybody
Anyone
get a
else?
drink?
Chris, you got to get yourself a drink? No,
Didn't
you
have
got
to,
yours
but it
with you?
can't hurt.
There you go. I got my water with me. I'll be taking shots with my nephew tomorrow night because that's my birthday's coming up. So
There's beer in the closet.
there you go. Right. So everyone, like I said, this is a special episode. As the title suggests, we're just gonna roll off the cuff today. We've been doing this for a little bit. We've got close to 50 episodes. I think this would be number 50 actually. I got to look at the numbers, but if I'm correct, this is going to be episode number 50. If it's not 50, it's either 49 or 51. But this should be our 50th episode. And I kind of want to just kind of roll and kind of see where everybody's at, do a check-in, see, just kind of also talk about this how things have developed and how things are changing. So starting off, we started with it was supposed to be three. We've gone to the story before. It's supposed to be three of us. The original person who came up with the idea ended up backing out, but Black and I were so like passionate about this, we went ahead and moved full steam ahead with it. And this has been so fun doing. We've had some really fun topics. I'm not gonna lie, there were some bland episodes that we've had, but there was also some issues where we was trying to figure out our connections and how to actually record when doing it remotely and everything. But there's been some really good and some really fun episodes. And then once we brought Chris on, that actually solidified and got us to where we really needed to be in having that extra person in to bounce things off as well, because you kind of need that third person to actually kind of create that tripod, and that's the best way I can actually put it. That a triangle is one of the strongest shapes. um
Oh,
so definitely we needed that. So really happy about having Chris on here. But we're here at this point now, and we're actually going to move further. We're all updating our equipment, and we're actually getting better mics. We've got better mics, but we're getting better mics. We're getting cameras, getting better cameras, and we're working on actually doing a live episode. We're going to stream it to YouTube, and I'm going to see what else we can stream it to. Um, I haven't made over I haven't made over 1,000 followers yet. So if you're listening to my voice and you can actually follow me on TikTok, follow me and tell a couple extra people, please. I need some followers so I can actually stream us on TikTok. Um, but I might actually connect to Twitch too, so I can stream us on Twitch as well. So I'm hoping we can do that. So, but starting off, Black, you got your drink.
I do, and
All
it
right.
just so the listeners know what type of episode this is gonna be. I'm just gonna go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, y'all hear that? That's I'm just letting you know that's exactly what type of episode it's gonna be.
Right. Okay. So, another reason too that I wanted to go ahead and do this episode, because Black in the last episode said he had a rant to go on about some games. So, before I let you loose, Black, um, what's everybody playing right now?
Oh, that's Oblivion remastered.
Really? Okay. Same for you, Chris, because I saw y'all talking about it in our group chat.
yeah. For me, south of midnight. And I also took time out to play Dishonored 2 again.
Okay.
I can't quit it.
I'm getting an expansion port. If I don't get the iMac that I need to upgrade, then I'm gonna get an expansion port soon. So that if I get that, I'm definitely getting South of Midnight so I can actually download it to my Xbox and play. Because
You might want to hurry.
but why is it? It's about to go off of.
Did you hear what Microsoft announced today?
No, what happened?
Oh, dude, they are
Oh,
raising the prices on
oh,
everything
yeah.
except Game Pass. It looks like at least for right now. I
Yeah.
don't know whether they're going to keep the prices of the current games as they are, but
Mhm.
they did announce though that they were going to be raising the price of the games to 80 standard, and at
Whew.
least I know at
Woo.
least one of the, if not all, the consoles are going up by $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know who opened that door initially? It was
Nintendo.
Nintendo. Nintendo
Yeah.
Yeah,
opened that door.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, man.
but
Well,
this has I hate to get political, but this has a lot to do with the tariff situation in the United States of America,
Mhm.
man.
oh yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you also hear
And
what Amazon did? Amazon Amazon was originally going to post how much you pay for this and then how much you got to pay because of the tariffs.
Man,
And now
it's-
they back down. They
they
back
they
down. They're not
backed
going to
down
do it.
quick.
that-
It wasn't even 24 hours before they backed down.
exactly.
Yeah.
How you gonna back out of something like that? How you gonna tease American customers like that? Consumers, I'm
That's
sorry,
wild.
consumers.
That was wild.
Because
That
they're
is
our
That's
drug
wild.
crazy.
dealer and they know we aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real, for real. You know,
yeah.
they
I
they
wanted to
they
slap
know
Jeff.
that too.
I
I'm
wanted to
your
slap.
Mhm.
mother. I'm your.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. I ain't gonna lie. Just hearing that, I'm like, if I see just Jeff Bezos' face on a picture or something, man, I'll probably exit out. What's wrong with you, man?
There you go. He needs to be in our villain podcast. But anyway,
He's
yeah,
gonna be
all
like,
right.
I'm rich. He's gonna be like, I'm rich.
Yeah, there you go. He's actual Lex Luthor, a bald billionaire.
Oh
He's
yeah,
Lex Luthor.
yeah.
And he's got a
So-
rocket.
right. So going back to the games, I have not finished Indiana Jones yet, so I haven't downloaded South of Midnight. I haven't downloaded anything else, but I'm going to finish Indiana Jones. I think I'm pretty much at the end of where I'm at. I'm in this place called the Ziggurat or whatever. So I need to finish that. But I guess I'm taking some time off. Holiday is coming up, so I might play it for the holiday. I've been saying this so many times. I need to get back on Call of Duty. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but I do need to get back on Call of Duty. I also need to get on GTA and get some GTA time. I need to get you guys on GTA. I really want to get on GTA more before GTA 6 comes out. So definitely got to get some GTA 5 time in.
Also rumored to be $100.
Yeah,
That's not
man.
confirmed or
That's
anything.
that's just
They-
gonna be crazy. But
yeah.
the thing about the good thing about that though is if it's $100, if GTA 6 is $100, you'll get your money's worth because Rockstar
That's
will
true.
make sure that they
That's true.
like seriously, if GTA 5 was $100, they milked every last dime out of that $100 because Rockstar just kept pushing all these different updates out and you could actually play everything. They have so many different campaigns and heists that you could play that Rockstar gave you your money's worth out of that. So if GTA 6 is $100, I'm not gonna complain too much. I'm gonna complain, but I'm not gonna complain too much because I know I'll be paying it for the next 10 years.
I'm not gonna complain, but I'm also probably not gonna buy it at $100.
Yeah, you're gonna wait.
You're probably gonna-
Not gonna happen.
It's gonna have to be really, really good.
You
It's gonna
corpos,
right.
It's gonna
You
have to be
corpo-
twice as good as that last one.
yeah, you corpos gotta realize we ain't just gonna pay because it's good. All right, that's why I'm on Game Pass. You see, you got all these guys complaining about $80 games. Not me. I got Game Pass, baby.
I was about to say I'm probably gonna give up Game Pass soon because like I said, I ain't got but another month or two. I think maybe another month and maybe a little over, but I got some serious thinking to do because I'm just like as I looked at all the games that I have, just my backlog of games, it is ginormous, and I'm just like, and not to mention that most of those are on. I have on PC now. I'm just like, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. Although I love it, but I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it.
This is funny. Check this out. I think that I think we're currently live streaming.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm looking really quick. I think we're live streaming, y'all.
I hope not. My camera's
That would
off.
be that would be crazy. I mean, but we shouldn't be doing video.
Wait a minute. Did y'all see me picking my nose? No, just kidding.
So
I think.
yeah,
I done took a couple swigs of beer right on camera.
yeah. No, let me see. I'm gonna
And
see if I can actually turn that off. But we're audio anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that would be crazy. If we live stream that whole one. That would be really crazy. either
Huh.
way. Because I connected this stuff today. Um, I connected it today, but it didn't. It wasn't supposed to record.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't
Oh yeah,
understand that.
you're
That's
right.
weird.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. Because up top of my screen, there's a big. Did you just finish messing with it just now? Because it just said
Yeah,
live,
keeps flipping
and
back
then
and
it
forth
went,
between
Yeah.
live and
and it went
record.
to record.
Yeah. Okay, well, either way, we're live streaming. We're talking, so we'll see
Yeah,
what
we're here now.
happens. I'll check the if it's on. If it ended up recording, I'll just take it down. It's all good. But like I said, I've been trying to get us to do live stream, and we were just waiting for cameras and stuff like that. So you know, it is what it is. It's saying that it's not recording video. It's only recording audio. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. Anyway. Yeah, I was wondering like why my camera was like. You remember when y'all said like, yeah, you kind of stuttered or whatever? I was like, what
Mhm.
could have caused it to stutter? Then I looked up in this circle and I was just like, oh, that circle actually has this thing on there. Anyway, Black. Now, tell me this rant. Tell me what's going on with that. Tell me about these
Okay, so
games that you like have beef with.
so like you had mentioned before, we were talking about characters that we hate that we couldn't envision playing as anybody else
Mm-hmm.
in movies, and that kind of brought up games that I just moments in games that I just despise. And I said to myself, I said, well, that just brought back a thought of mine from a game's ending that I have always despised. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that particular game is Mass Effect 3. And what happened at Mass Effect 3 and the choices they gave you at Mass Effect 3, I it was so bad that, I don't know if you remember that people were actually protesting EA after that. That particular ending was so bad. Like, all this time through Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, you had all these choices that affected each particular game. So choice you made in Mass Effect 1 affect you in Mass Effect 2. The same thing in 2 and 3. So you thought you would think that at the end that all those choices that you made, all that work you did would come to fruition, but it didn't. Matter of fact, it was kind of like a slap in the face to all the work you did throughout those 3 games. Right at the end, this is the choices you get, and that's it, buddy. That's it. That's all you're getting.
Three
So either
doors.
yeah, 3 doors.
Three
So either way,
colored doors.
Shepard could blow the whole could destroy the Reapers and he dies. Shepard could control the Reapers and he dies. Or Shepard could spread his essence and he still died. Either which way, Shepard died. And that's the essence of what pissed everybody off.
Mm.
So
Mm, no
I'm gonna call
imagination.
it. Yeah. I'm gonna say this topic is, yes, your most hated moment in games. And I'm a and Senior knows because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I am right there with you because
You know.
I was just and actually my disappointment started before that because the minute I realized that my shepherd, who I was supposed to be able to carry over from the first 2 games to that 3rd game, didn't upload right, and they immediately started having issues. I was like, this we're about to be in for a bumpy ride.
Bad
I was
omen.
I was still
Oh.
hoping out of all hope that it was gonna work, and eventually they did give a patch that kind of fixed it, but you still had to go back in and get as close as you could to your original character's face, which still I never could actually get him back to the way that he looked in the first 2 games, but I got close. But it was like then, oh my god, the kid
Oh,
annoyed me.
oh my god.
I was
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh. That
I was like,
oh
why,
my gosh, man.
why did they just decide to do this out of And I get what they were going for. I just didn't feel that it fit with that anything that had happened in that story up until that point.
You don't notice every single important part of that game after you finish like a real important part of part 3, that kid showed up, and then they make you go play hide and go seek with him. To me, it was hide and go seek
Yeah,
because you have to go and find the kid, and then he'll end up running away from you,
yeah.
and then you have to find him again just to see yourself burn up in some future. type dream type deal or something like that. And I'm like, I don't understand it. You see your kid burn, and
Man.
then you see yourself with the kid, and both of y'all burn, and then I'm like, what the hell's why? Why put that in there? It's like the people who helped to make part 3 had no idea part one, about part 1 and 2. You
Well,
know what I'm
what it
saying?
That's
happened was
crazy.
apparently what had happened was they got rushed, and it was pressure from the
Oh,
shareholders to get it out of the door, and they
that's the
hadn't
worst. That's
apparently
the
they really didn't have a complete
Exactly.
story and ideas to finish it out with, and it would have
that's the
taken them way
worst.
longer in order to flesh it out like we were expecting to than what they put out, and yeah, so they rushed it out of the door.
Wow.
I've got an admission. You know, at the end, senior, when you're talking to the kid again
Mhm.
at the very end after you actually go in the Citadel,
Mhm.
um, I actually at the end when he gave you the choices, this is what you got to choose. I tried to shoot the kid, and the game ended. I'm like, they even penalize you if you try to shoot the kid.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
what is this, man?
I'm
So it
glad I
said
didn't.
you chose you chose your fate. So the Reapers end up taking over and just killing everything.
Wow.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I would love to find a game that allows you to do that and still gives you consequences later on, but
Oh,
you can continue the game.
Dishonored 2
So you can
and
shoot, you
Dishonored.
can kill your companions and stuff like that.
Oh, you can murk pretty much everybody in the game, and the game will adjust based on who you kill.
Mm,
It actually, matter of fact, even Deathloop plays out differently depending on like who. Even though, like I said, it's basically like Groundhog Day, where you are stuck in that particular day.
mhm,
Whatever you do during that day affects whatever happens the rest of the day. And sometimes there will be people you may want to kill in the morning but leave alive, or leave alive till so that they can do something in the afternoon or something later in the day.
mhm.
But killing them, even killing them in certain places and doing stuff to them can affect how things play out. But yeah, you can pretty much murk. Matter of fact, and the thing about about Deathloop, it's
Mhm.
designed so that you can kill everybody.
You're right. Yeah, that's cool. That's
But yeah, the
cool.
Dishonored games though, the only thing was there was one of the DLCs for the first Dishonored game.
Mhm.
I killed so many people I broke the game, and I had to start it off from the beginning. I'm not even kidding. I was like, yeah, they just, I had ticked off everybody, and the story couldn't even. But the funny thing is, that particular DLC,
Mhm.
because of who that character is, and because of the road that they should be on. And keep in mind, the game still gives you the option to take the low road or the high road, whatever you want to do. The game is good for it, but it got to a point where, yeah, where when I went back and I played it decently and
Mhm.
didn't kill anybody, that I got like the best outcome, the best ending outcome, and it was mainly because that character kind of needed to redeem themselves.
Uh-uh. Wow.
The rest of them, though, yeah, murk the hell out of whatever player's choice.
I'm trying to think of any game that I did that and I went crazy on because people were annoying me, but I don't know. I can't think of that, man. I don't know.
Matter of
I'm
fact,
I'd have to just go.
I'm
there
waiting,
was a
Slim. I'm waiting.
mm,
I'm waiting for you to mention again because it's hard to really
yeah,
get Slim,
mhm,
to really hate something.
yeah.
He's
There was
he's the ultimate optimist. You know.
well, well, it depends. It depends too because there was a couple times where I was trying to shoot some characters, like in even in like Jedi Survivor and stuff like that. There was some annoying characters in that, man. I was just like, man, I really wish I could shoot this
terrible,
one.
terrible.
Yeah, and this just is so it was even in that, and then of course in GTA, man. In GTA, when you're playing the actual storyline, man, there's some
Yeah,
Mm,
characters like I really wish I could have took Trevor out a couple of times.
man.
Because Trevor is just like, and he talks so much junk, man. It's like,
Yeah,
all the
yo,
time.
chill. It's like, chill, man.
yeah,
He's like, all he does is talk junk to you. And it's so funny because the character, the guy who voices Trevor, He's actually he played a character in Walking Dead as well, but he looks so much like him in his character. And I listened to him on a podcast recently, and he is such a nice guy. That guy is so nice. And I almost felt bad that I wanted to shoot Trevor as him because just listening to him talking on the podcast, I was just like, oh, I
Oh,
feel
the
bad
model
now.
is based on him. Trevor's model is based on him. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but Stephen Ogg is a
Yeah,
good actor.
yeah. So give me each of you.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
start with
God.
Chris this time. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What did you just say,
Oh,
Chris?
Ned Leeds, Michael's actor,
Mm-hmm.
voices a lot of the characters in Dishonored too. You
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
will recognize his voice immediately.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh snap, yeah. Like Ashley Eckstein, you can actually
Mhm.
recognize her voice. So, there you go. So, what Ned Leeds? You said his name's Ned Leeds.
Mhm.
Isn't that
And
the
it's
name
funny
of
because when
Spider-Man's
GTA
friend?
5 first, before it came out, I think one of his nephews actually revealed that he was going to be that the game was about to come out, and because he revealed that his uncle was going to be playing one of the leads in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might have to actually look them up later. Because it's what's coming up is the dude that played in Spider-Man. um, so, let me ask y'all, and I'm gonna start with Chris. What's one hot take that you have that if you say it, nothing too controversial, of course. We don't go too controversial right now. But if you say it, most people would be like, man, this and that, whatever. Or they like most people would hate it. Give me one of your hot takes.
You talk about with just anything, or
Yeah. I'll
is
start with
there?
senior with Chris. Give me one of your hot takes was like anything, just anything. It doesn't have to be video game related. Doesn't have to be TV related. Just give me a hot take that you would say. Like I said, nothing too controversial that's going to get us a whole bunch of hate, but just like a general one. Let me give you an example. Like
Oh,
people who hate pickles are childish. Something like that.
I got one, and it's going to be controversial, and it's probably going to get me some hate mail, and I don't care.
Bingo.
And I've said it before. The Last Jedi is a good movie.
How is that controversial? That is that is a good
There's
movie.
there's a lot of
Like
hate
for
for
people
The Last Jedi.
who hate The Last Jedi really need to grow up. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
And I hate to say
And
this. I hate to say this because I know somebody personally who basically they couldn't after 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 The Last Jedi. When he saw The Last Jedi, he was upset. I know somebody was upset, but I'm gonna be like this. The reason why I say they need to grow up is one, it's a movie. Two, it is art. And again, like I've said this before, you may not like the way that's written, you may not like the way it's done, but that is something that wasn't there the day before. And when it was made, whether it was made to the specifications you like or not, that is a story that someone spent their time on, and someone somewhere else would love it. You know, somewhere that story came out and a little kid saw that and fell in love with Star Wars.
Me, I
So
was that kid.
so yeah, you know what? The Last Jedi to me, it was still a very good installment of I don't want to say excellent, but it was pretty much excellent for me.
Yeah, for me
But
it was
anyway.
and the funny thing is it shocked me because as someone who grew up watching all the movies when they originally ran in the theaters and saw what was going on as far as the news went, as far as all the media at the time, when I heard there was all this love for The Empire Strikes Back and it being the greatest Star Wars movie ever made,
Mhm.
I was shocked because when that movie first came out, it caught about the same for the equivalent of the time without social media, it caught about the same amount of flack as The Last Jedi did. I remember people and just clowning it, hating it, everything from the creatures in it to the daggone to the ending, to the daggone
Mhm.
cliffhanger ending, which some people were upset about. I remember just people just and like I said, it was same type A.
Look,
But
well, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I gotta play devil's advocate when it comes to
Okay,
Last
here we
Jedi.
go. Oh no.
oh
Yeah,
no,
I'm
oh
sorry.
no,
I've
oh
got to
no,
do it.
Black.
No, don't do it to me, Black. Come on, bro.
I've got to
Okay.
talk about
All right.
why people actually hate The Last Jedi.
All
I'm
right.
telling
All right.
you,
Let's go.
there's one reason.
Let's go.
There's one reason, and here's the reason. Luke freaking Skywalker is really, I'm sorry, he was a disappointment. He was a disappointment in that movie. But
I
but
agree. But go
but
ahead.
but I just feel like the Luke Skywalker you saw, which I'm not done watching this series, the Mandalorian, but the Luke Skywalker you saw when he walked in there, he just took out all those bots. You know how many people um commented on that video, because I was watching the actual video because I'd seen it on the series, but I was watching the actual video on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, and I was listening to the comments. I was reading the comments, and they were saying that that's the Luke Skywalker that should have been in The Last Jedi. How they screw it up? Because he was he was no joke in that scene. You
Yeah,
know,
but
Okay.
that Luke Skywalker was different than the Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Because
Correct.
Luke in The Last Jedi was broken. He was a broken man.
Correct.
Everything that had happened to him had, I mean, his school, his trying to
Exactly.
rebuild the Jedi, it was all destroyed. And it was all destroyed pretty much by somebody he loved. And instead of wanting to take revenge and to do the things that he walked away. And I heard a lot of people saying that a Jedi or Luke wouldn't walk away. Obi-Wan did.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan walked
So
that's true.
straight
Yeah,
away.
so let
yeah,
me
that's true.
add in let me add
Yoda
in on
did.
that too. So so like I said, he was disappointing to a point to me. And I was disappointed because when he came back, he just came back as a force projection and then died, and that was it. You didn't get that Luke Skywalker that you wanted to see.
Mm.
And I believe that they could have had a better scene than that. And that part was the disappointing part for me. However, the Luke Skywalker, like Chris said, was broken. And he was pretty much let down by the force, and that's why he closed himself off to the force. He felt, and it actually shows, he was really idyllic, and he felt like life should have been better or whatever, and he did all this stuff, and he should have been able to peacefully live out his days and things like that, doing what he did. But then his nephew did what he did and tore down his school and destroyed the everything that he built. So he was defeated because he was trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, and all of that was taken away from him in a swift motion. And he also felt from it was his own actions that did it, that started the fall. So
But that Luke in that state though, by the time he was broken, but at the same time, he was, how can I put this? I'm stalling for time because I actually lost my thought. So
that's okay. Pothole. Pothole.
yes.
Yeah. We'll
But
come back to it. We'll come back to it.
yeah.
But
But he was mm,
go ahead.
See, that's what that Luke Skywalker do to you. It makes you lose your thought because you can't understand. Why?
but
Why, man?
he basically though at that point in his, I wasn't disappointed by it, but I actually loved that version of Luke, and especially the way that he handled that last. That's where it was. The way he handled that last fight, and the fact that he couldn't get there physically, I just thought was so clever. Because even when you go back and watch that scene, there were hits that he wasn't there, and so the fact that it was played off, and that when you find out in the end that he wasn't there, if you check for his shadow in certain scenes where the shadow where he should be casting a shadow, he isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mm.
it was just so cleverly done. But when you look at it and you think about Luke, how Luke handled when Luke went to confront Vader, he basically kept trying to tell it and kept trying to go, "I'm not fighting." He kept throwing his weapon down.
Mm.
"I'm not fighting. I'm not killing my father." And then when he finally did get to his breaking point, where Luke went Luke, and he basically he almost took his father's place. Also, I was about to say, when it comes down to it, basically what happened to Luke would have happened to Anakin if he had tried to defy Palpatine in that moment. If he had all of a sudden realized just how well, he knew how badly he had messed up when Mace got killed, but
Mm-hmm.
there was no way Palpatine wouldn't have killed him and basically blamed it on him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He would have killed him in that moment. And when when Luke basically when Vader basically saved him in the end, it was still a matter of Luke put his weapon down. And in that scene, he basically got a chance to put the weapon down without actually having to murk his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he really humiliated him in front of all those people in public to the point where you saw how he lost it. That's why I love that moment. Luke still found a way to be Luke,
Yeah,
which was
it was
to
still a good moment.
yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a good moment. But like I said, I wanted to see more of the fighting Luke. I wanted to see more of a fighting Luke that at that moment. For it to be his last movie, I would have loved to see him do more fights.
I wanted
So
to see Luke fighting, but I wanted to see I want like some shows and some stories that happen in between those movies where you actually get to see a young Luke
apparently
becoming that.
there's gonna be I saw something today that they said that there's something that's gonna come after the I mean not Last Jedi, but uh the Return of the Jedi. There's supposed to be something that's gonna be in between those two, but I don't know what. And I don't know if Luke will be involved, but I just saw it today, and it was one of those things where I clicked the Google story, but it refreshed before I got a chance to actually read it.
I have
So
no doubt that at some point they're
they
going to
got
go
to.
back to those characters.
They
It's
have to.
inevitable. It's just a
Yeah, yeah,
matter
they
of
have
it.
to
And
for
I think
sure.
they're finally getting to the point where I think whatever they do in the coming future, there is some place that because even they're going back to oh the one about the pilots. Say I think the one with what's his name that just played Ryan
Gosling.
yeah, I think that one is supposed to be taking place after Return of the Jedi, and he's supposed to be
Okay.
playing a pilot in that one.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
Okay.
heard.
Yeah. So we went off on a tangent, but I want to go back to the hot take. Black, give me a hot take that you got. Anything. Not too controversial, but
Right?
anything
Right?
that's a hot take that you got.
Okay, I hate to keep it um on Star Wars, but sorry, Mace Windu deserved to die. I'm sorry.
You say he deserved to die?
Yeah, yeah, I hate Mace Windu. Sorry.
Okay.
That's the
Tell
one
me
Samuel
your
L.
thoughts.
Jackson movie that's the only one Samuel L. Jackson part that I
Tell me your
say.
thoughts.
Well, no, that's not the only one, but yeah, yeah, he deserved
Tell me your thoughts on that one because I have a rebuttal for that. But go ahead. Tell me your thoughts.
I just didn't. I just one thing Samuel L. Jackson in the Star Wars. I just never picture him being in Star Wars. I'm sorry, he cuts too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you see
Hmm.
Samuel, you seen Dave Chappelle's impersonation of Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Yeah, of
That's Samuel
course.
L. Jackson to me. That's Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is not a Mace Windu.
Right,
He can't. To
right.
me, he's not that guy.
I don't know
He's
that
Mhm.
lightsaber with
Yeah.
the BMF
So
on it.
yeah, right.
it
So
should it
so
should. Oh, you talk about the,
so all right. So I love Mace Windu. I love Mace Windu, and Chris, he may not know that though. Did you know that Black that
what's that? With the,
Sam Jackson was allowed to pick out his own lightsaber. He was actually allowed to choose his own color, and on that he actually had it engraved BMF on there. Stand for
no, I didn't
bad
know that.
moment. Yeah, he had
Well,
that. And that's the same thing that was on his wallet in Pulp Fiction.
Mhm.
So yeah, Sam Jackson was the original. But so my thoughts with Sam Jackson in the Star Wars story is I enjoyed him. However, he did stick out, but I believe like I wanted to see more from his character as well, which actually I saw on a news story that Bryce Dallas Howard and him have been in talks to possibly bring him back. So he lived. Because he
oh
even
damn.
went on stage at some kind of event. It might have been the not Star Wars Day, but the Star Wars
Celebration.
celebration. Yeah, the celebration recently. I think that was when he was on stage. Either way, he was on stage somewhere and he shouted out, Mace Windu lived, and everybody started cheering. So
They kind
I
of did
want to
that
see
with
more from
Ahsoka,
him.
and before they brought her back,
Who
was they
started
kept started
cheering?
doing the.
The whole crowd,
You
because
sure?
people
You
want to see
sure?
more of Mace Windu.
You
Yeah,
sure? You
man.
sure they were cheering for him coming back?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. He's gonna come
No.
back. He's gonna come
Yeah.
back. But you know who else I want to see though? I want to see Kelleron Beck. And so at the beginning of, is it season 3 or ending of season 3 of The Mandalorian? In it's one of the episodes of the or second, it was either second or third season. One of those episodes, right? Uh Grogu, you see how Grogu escaped Order 66. And the African American Jedi who I say African whatever he's from, the black Jedi who helped him escape, his name is Kelleron Beck. The actor who actually played him played one of the most hated characters originally, when he played Jar Jar Binks. So that was his redemption, was playing Kelleron Beck.
Hate Jar Jar Binks. I really.
As most people did. As most people
But
did.
he also played
Yeah.
Kelleran Beck in the kids show that they had too, the
Yeah,
Jedi
yeah, yeah.
Academy.
It was like something like
Yeah,
the Jedi Quest or something like that, or the
yeah,
Jedi Trials or something. But
yeah. It was some kind of
he
trials.
originally played it on that show.
Mhm.
And I really enjoyed seeing him play that role. I want to see some more of him.
He is also in South of Midnight.
Really?
Oh
I
wow!
think
Really?
I think he's got something to do with the production of the game, if I'm not
Not
mistaken. But he
Kelleron, but the
definitely,
actual actor.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ahmed Best. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ahmed
Ahmed
Best. I
Best.
always thought I hated the fact that he got treated so badly, but I thought his performance was incredible. I loved
Mhm.
watching like the behind the scenes and watching him acting. I never blamed him for the character and how the character came
Yeah.
out. I
Yeah.
can
Mhm.
love an actor and their performance, even if I don't particularly like the character they play. But and I loved what he did and couldn't wait to see what he was doing more. So every time I see him in something where he's getting his props, I 2 thumbs up.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, before we move on, I'll go ahead and do my one hot take. Um, I feel that people should not joke on or judge people for different things that they like to do unless it harms somebody. So
Mm.
there's a specific music group that I'm not going to go into right now because I don't feel like getting hate mail. There's a specific music group that everybody loves, and I'm just not a fan. I like a couple of their songs. I'm just not a fan. Um,
I
there's
got it. I gotta
certain
know who
types
this
of
is.
food. No, I'm not saying it. There's certain foods that everybody eats, and everybody's just like, "Oh man, you gotta love this food. You gotta love this food." I just can't stand that type of food. It's just not me. There's certain TV shows everyone loves. There's certain movies, and you know what? I will actually go into this. I will say this. There's a specific movie that most people who are Black African American love, and I cannot watch that movie. I started trying to watch it, and I cannot watch it. Is The Color Purple. I just don't have anything for it. I
Oh
don't
gosh,
it just doesn't appeal to me,
L-
you know?
I was
And
forced to watch that movie when I was younger.
yeah,
how do you feel about it?
yeah.
I mean, I would really hate to say this. I really would, and they're probably
I just said
the
I
listeners
just
will
don't like
probably
it.
think, the listeners probably think I'm just a toxic, ignorant person, ignorant, a hole. But I'm sorry, there were some funny parts in that movie. Like when Danny Glover came out and he's like, "Boy, you show is ugly." And I thought that was funny as hell.
But you
I,
know what though? I've seen it, and I've seen a lot of people make the jokes about that though. You know?
Mm,
They actually joke about that. So there are some parts that probably weren't meant to be funny, but a
Yeah,
lot of people find it funny. So like that
yeah,
specific part, I only know that part because I've seen people joke about it, you
yeah.
know?
That part was supposed to be a moment of levity and all that, with
mm.
all the harshness
Yeah.
and heavy weight stuff that went on. But
Dude,
it,
people make a joke out of the "You told Harpo to beat me" line, and all my life I had to fight. They make jokes about that line, and
There's so
I've
many
seen
in
memes.
those. I've
in
seen, yeah,
context,
and
I was about to say, depending on where they put that, I mean, it wasn't funny that he beat her, or it was funny. I was about to say the way that she rocked his ass back.
Yeah,
But but I've seen it used in some pretty humorous, like ways where they use it as a meme for other stuff that happened, and where they was basically like somebody getting paid back by the person that they had been doing them wrong, and they was just like and it was done kind of as a it was just in the context of what they were using it as.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
the people in that movie remind me of people I grew up. My early part of my life was in Montgomery, Alabama, so in a
Mm.
lot of that rings true with experiences that I had as a kid in down south, and it's hard for me to watch that movie because of the pain that I have to watch them go through, knowing the things that I've seen family members go through, and just they were people I related to.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason it's hard for me to watch. And I had other issues with that movie. One, the fact that like when it came out, it was nominated for like 13 some odd nominations and didn't win that one. To which I was like, yeah,
That's
it made me
typical
feel a
America.
certain way about a
Mhm.
certain
Yes, yeah.
award program, which I'm
Mm.
not obviously not a fan of. But
Not a fan of Game Awards neither.
yeah,
Sure.
Hate 'em.
me neither.
Yeah,
God,
I'm done with
their
award shows,
commercials.
period.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
So
commercials.
exactly.
Their
Like
extended
like, you know, the
commercials.
BET Awards is coming up. I'm like, "For what? Why would I watch that?"
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
no
Um,
there's no
well,
there's no need for me to watch
I've
Yeah.
outgrown the music for the most part as far as that going. Although in recent years, there's been a few artists who have brought me back, so I'm good. I'm good as far
it.
as that
Okay.
Word.
goes. But
I'm
I
I'm
can enjoy
glad
their music other ways than watching it on those ads,
I'm
on
glad
those
you were
long
brought
Word.
ass
back because
ads.
they keep pushing me away. You were brought back. They keep pushing me away. I'm all the way in the I'm in the corner. They just keep pushing me.
I'm
Yeah.
still
Mhm.
mostly listening to '90s hip hop, but and I mean early '90s hip hop. I ain't talking about the stuff after '95 and '96.
Word, word.
Occasionally, but
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some good artists after
yeah,
but
I'm joking as far as like, yeah, but I did have a bit of a falling out with hip hop around about '95, '96,
mm,
Yeah.
where I just
All
wasn't
right.
interested in music pretty much.
All right. So I got two more things to bring up, and we're running up on time. So I just got two more questions to ask y'all. Then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Sorry to be like that dude on Dave Chappelle. Wrap it up, B. But anyway,
wrap it up. Wrap
uh,
it up.
all right. So I got one question. First question I gotta ask. All right. I'm gonna name a decade, and you just give me the first thing that pops in your mind when you think of the decade. All right. So starting with Chris, the '80s. First thing that pops in your head when you think of the '80s.
Really bad hairstyles.
Really bad hairstyles. I can think of it because I remember growing up in a house with two women. They
I'm
used
including myself.
hairspray and had, the hair was like really high and all that. Yeah. I remember that. That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm including myself in, yeah.
But no,
Not that they
like,
were bad. It was just there was a lot of
but we all had boxes, right?
it.
Like
Mm.
Yeah.
Black, I think I remember you having a box at one point, didn't you? Didn't you have a
I,
box?
anything
I,
high I didn't have. So if
I think
if
you
it
had
was
a box.
common,
It was a short though. It was a short box, but you still had a box. I still remember you having
mm,
a box in
mm,
Heinz. Yeah,
yeah,
it might not have been. It might have high top because I didn't even have a high top.
yeah,
And
it
it
was.
Yeah.
might be jealousy because I'm bald now.
I'm
I
getting
might be
there.
jealous of my old self, my
Oh,
80s
Chris, I
self.
seen your picture. You had a box too. You had a high box. You had the
I
kid
had
and
a
play.
box in the military.
Yeah. But yeah, Black. I think you had like actually I said kid and play, but your box was similar to play.
Mm,
Like yeah, as far as I remember. Like I
yeah,
said, you didn't
yeah,
have the high top. Like, but yeah.
yeah.
So
Anything low, I probably had.
right,
Anything
yeah.
low, I probably
So
had.
all right, Black. Your decade is the '90s. First thing that come to mind in the '90s.
In the '90s,
Yeah, I say the '90s was the first thing that pops in your mind.
I would have to. I would '90s. I would have to say Tupac.
Tupac. That's
He's
what
a
I'm talking
Pac,
about.
Pac, Pac was the first. I mean, Pac was
That's
so
what I'm talking about.
revolutionary. And here's the crazy thing about Pac. I didn't hear a lot of his music till after the '90s. Everybody knew about the double CD that he had. Of course, that was the
Yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
popular. But a lot of his underground stuff, a lot of his the music that you really, you couldn't hear a lot of that till afterwards, after he
Mm.
died. That's what really. But I have to say, was Pac was is the guy that I think about. Is he was just
Where
on another
that's
level.
what's up.
He was a revolutionary.
Yeah.
So I
And that's
I
and it's so funny. Me going back talking about that group that everyone loves, and I'm just like, it's okay.
I
Pac
gotta
was that
know who
dude for
that
me.
is.
Pac was that dude for me. I'll tell you after, because I really don't need that heat for real. Trust me. I actually said it one time in front of some people, and they like laid into me, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? It's just a
Is it
music group.
Junior Mafia? If it's Junior
It's not.
Mafia, I
It's not.
totally agree with you.
It's
Nope,
not
not
Junior
Junior Mafia.
Mafia. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
Junior Mafia, but
If it's
nah.
Junior
Anyway,
Mafia,
like
yeah, I
everyone,
agree with you.
no, not everybody loves Junior Mafia. Sorry,
I mean,
but
it's not that I disliked all of. I mean, it was
Junior Mafia is more of
certain
a crew
aspects
than
of
a group.
Junior
Actually,
Mafia.
too, they were more than
Yeah,
a
you're
crew.
right. You're right. You're right.
But anyway, Pac was that dude for me, and I remember listening to his music. I can specifically, and when you say Pac, like what jumped into my mind is I remember back in like I want to say it was 11th grade. It might have been 11th grade or 12th grade, but I remember walking on the bus singing his lyrics and even singing it wrong, and somebody corrected me, and I was just like I was playing it off like, yeah, those are the lyrics I made up when it really wasn't. So uh but I remember just listening to Pac and trying to get his lyrics right and trying to sing the songs, and like I said, it was like 11th or 12th grade, and it was like right before he died is when I got into Pac. And to me, he was like you say, he was a revolutionary. He was very flawed, but he was a revolutionary, and he
Mhm.
brought attention to a lot of things, and I really wish that uh he and Biggie both had a chance to actually go through, because Biggie would have
I,
did a lot for the music industry. Pac would have did a lot for the music industry, but I think
mm,
Pac would have been done a lot for political as well.
I just,
You know,
what Pac. I don't like the comparison between Biggie and Pac, because I felt like
I
Pac
don't either.
was he was he
Two
was
different
he was
people,
just he was just different. He was just different
right?
because Biggie never spoke about anything that struggle
Mhm.
wise. He talked about his
Right.
struggle coming up, but I'm talking about struggle wise as far as black folks as a nationality. You know,
Hmm.
and what some of the systematic issues that was going on in America. He never talked about that stuff. He just talked about the popular stuff. He
Yeah,
wasn't like that. So
party and
I'm
bulls.
yeah, party. He was on that party,
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah,
because
which he got
yeah,
from Pop.
yeah,
But he just he stayed on that. He didn't have a. So I don't think Pac was just he was just on another level. He was never Biggie was never on his level. So I hate
correct,
the comparison in my opinion.
correct. Right, yeah, 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 for real, for real. Yeah. But yeah, man. I really don't, I really can't get down with that whole comparison. And it's so funny. I've said this, I might have said this on here before, but I've said this. Uh there's four rappers that remind me of when my brother and my cousins and I used to actually kind of hang out together. And there's four rappers that kind of represented our personalities. And I'm not gonna say my cousin's name because they whether they listen to this or not, I don't know. But I don't want them to take this in any kind of negative way. But I had two male cousins and then my brother. So me, of course, I used to our personality, the type of person I was growing up. I actually had Pac's personality in a way, okay, in a way, but not fully, okay. So when I say these rappers too, again, it was just in a way we had different characteristics that mimic these rappers, but not on purpose because you know, we weren't listening to these rappers growing up back when my cousins and my brother and I used to all hang out together. All right. So then there's my brother had Biggie's personality and in a way different things about how he was about the money and the women and stuff like that. Right. Me with my personality, I was about like justice.
Mhm.
I wanted everything. I wanted to be right. And I'm just gonna stick an explicit label on this episode because I really feel like I need to actually express myself correctly. So
Mhm.
I wanted to be right. You know what I'm saying? Stuff was all up. If I seen it, I wanted to make it right. And that's I feel like how Pac was.
Yep.
My other cousin, my younger cousin, he was to me had Nas's personality. And with Nas was really analytical and he was really subdued, laid back, but he was to a point where he was he was what Pac could have been if Pac was calmer
Mm.
to a point. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to put that into words, but I felt my cousin was that way. Right? So my older cousin had DMX's personality. He was
Oh Lord.
really passionate. He was really intense. He was just going for it. You know what I'm saying? He actually wanted to be a rapper too. And I believe he had skills and could have gone further, but he's a family man now. So, but that dude was so intense and so passionate. I believe, like I said, he had that personality. And like I said, this is all from us growing up, and even before all these rappers became major rappers and all that. Like I said, these was just our personalities that we grew up with, and that's just kind of how it was. So it was just talking about these rappers is actually pretty cool, you know. So
Yeah.
all right, wrapping it up, we got one last question, quick fire, really quick. All right, what was your favorite toy as a kid? Black, you go first. Really quick.
Yeah, Joe.
G.I. Joe. Favorite toy. Any specific one that was your favorite though?
The Hall of Famers. The big ones that were in the box. The Hall of Famers. I had Snake Eyes. Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Cool. I see Chris is actually grabbing his. So Chris, what was your favorite toy growing up? Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Large
That's cool.
size Boba Fett.
Uh, is that one that you had since childhood, or is that
Yeah, this is
okay?
the one I've had since he came out in what 1980, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! And
Mhm.
the fact that it's
That's
in
cool.
that condition, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which showed
So
my favorite toy. And
so go ahead. What you about to say?
yeah,
And what?
Steven got the Wookiee scalps, which are supposed to be fairly rare and hard to find.
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sure that somebody really wants that. They would, if they
I'm
saw
trying
that,
to
they
tell
would
you.
be like, "What?" So, all
And then he
right.
was still raise one of his
So
arms. I better stop before he fall off.
I'm gonna uh I'm gonna say mine and then we wrap it up. So my favorite toy, and my daughter ended up getting this. Um, my favorite toy was a teddy bear that I got. It's one of it's one of the few things that I got from my dad had a good memory that I actually has a good memory attached to my dad for um and I don't even remember the exact moment he gave it to me. I just remember him giving it to me. It was like, here, this is your bear, and the bear has a name, Tough Guy, written on it.
Mm.
And I even looked it up recently to see if they actually have a couple of them. You can actually find it on like eBay and stuff. But uh I kept that bear all the way through adulthood. Uh, and when my daughter was born, I basically told her she could have it. And like I literally said, after like one day I was sitting with her, I was like, "This will be your bear when you're old enough to appreciate it."
Mm.
To this day, my daughter still has that bear, and I check in on it occasionally because she has a very hairy dog, and if her dog gets his hair all over it, I kind of scrape the hair off and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, you're treating Tough Guy kind of bad, and she'll get mad that I keep trying to take him back and all this. Yeah, she actually even has my I have a little teddy bear baby blanket. She actually has my teddy bear baby blanket as well. But yeah, man. She loves that bear, and I'm actually truly happy that she loves that bear as much as I did, because that bear, I used to take it to elementary school with me for that was my emotional support bear before they had emotional support. Like whatever. So that and that was I will honestly say that was my favorite toy growing up, for real. As I got older, of course, it stayed in the house, but it stayed on my bed all the way up until I left my mother's house. And then once I left my mother's house, I just kept it in my closet, I think. I can't remember where I put it when I moved out. I can't remember where I put it, but either way, that bear, I'm truly hoping that it will continue to get passed on after I pass on. So that's that's like I said, that I want that love to be shared for generations to come. So
That is awesome. Yeah.
That
yeah,
is awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome.
So all right. Well, after all that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Like I said, I really like this. We might go ahead and try and do that again. It's a little off-topic conversation here, and I'm gonna find some more prompts that we can actually kind of spit some stuff out. We can go ahead and say what's on our minds about different stuff here or there. Again, like I said, I'll probably stick a explicit label on this one because this one had some cursing that I don't want to take out. So, but either way. If you want to see more of us, you want to hear more about us, you can actually follow us on Instagram at Told My Wife Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook. I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. You can subscribe to our YouTube page at I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills Podcast. I did check and it doesn't look like we're live streaming on it. So I got to double check it and see, but I don't know. I don't think we were live streaming. So either way, anyway. You can email us at toldmywifepodcast@gmail.com. And you can also find me on TikTok at SlimTour78. So before we sign off, Black, you got any final thoughts we can go and leave the people with?
Hey, just like I said, like I've said in the past, we appreciate the listeners. We gonna keep on doing this. Stay tuned in the future. I've got a podcast coming. Slim's gonna help me out with it, and
For sure.
called the Raging Bull X podcast. It's gonna be extremely toxic, but entertaining.
Yeah.
So no,
What's up?
but that's all I'm gonna say about it for right now. But like I said, just we appreciate the listeners. We gonna keep on rolling till the wheels fall off, baby.
Word. That's what's up. Yes, for sure. Chris, what do you got? You got anything you want to go ahead and close out with?
Just as enjoyed hanging out with y'all brothers as much as always. Just love it even more every time.
Oh yeah,
Thank y'all for thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
No
Yeah, we
doubt.
definitely. Yeah, like I said, man, you helped completed the tripod, so we definitely was needed.
Thank you.
So, yeah. All right, everybody. Well, that's it from our side of things. But again, please, if you can, come back, share, like, subscribe. All the listeners, you can help us reach more people, and we're definitely trying to go live on different things. So, but until then, till the next one, whether you're binging or button mashing, we'll catch you in the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.
A wrap.
Peace.